Hello there, this is Mrs. Sullinger, and this is the video where we will review your syllabus for this course. So let's get started with that right now. What you'll need to do is go to the course in Canvas. Go to the home page, and this is what you will see, Growth and Development Across the Lifespan. The home page will change each week based on the assignments that we're due and the information that I need to get out to you. I also will be posting announcements as needed. So make sure in your settings that you check the box that says that you want to receive notifications, because that way you'll know if something changes. So where do we find the syllabus? On the left-hand side of the screen under Modules, if you click on that, this is where all the information will be. The first section has syllabus, the handbook, and the policy and procedure manual. Let me actually switch over to the student view. That might make it easier for you. There we go. So this is what you would see when you log in. So again, we'll go to Modules. And as you can see, each week and the assignments are all listed. And there is a separate video that goes over each one of those modules. But for right now, we are going to review the syllabus. So click on the syllabus. You have the option to download it so that you have it all the time and have access to it. Or you can just look at it on the screen here, which is what we're going to do for now. The syllabus in Nursing and Allied Health, the syllabi are the same, the initial beginning parts of them, and then they split off into the specific requirements for each course. So when you take other nursing courses, that's what you will find. So here is the course. Regardless if you signed up for NVN or NRN 70, you're all together. We're all together as one class. Next, you'll have your table of contents, which basically shows you where to find the information that you need. And we go on to about page 12 before we get to the specific growth and development information. But here, you'll find our mission, vision, values, and philosophy with our 5 core values, interprofessional core competencies. There's the philosophy. And then here are the references in APA format for where we reference that information. Continuing on now, the emergency notification statement. This is campus-wide. This is the statement for the 2018-2019 school year. It tells you about evacuation to shelter in place. We talk about run, hide, fight. This is an online course, so this may not apply to you. However, you may want to sign up for the campus-wide notification system so that you know if there is a problem. There are also reporting forms that you can find on the Hartnell main webpage if there is some behavior when you're on campus that you see that's concerning, and you can always call security. In fact, I put their phone number in my phone so that if I need them, I have it right away. All right, moving along, services for students with disabilities. So we do have a wonderful Department of Support Program and Services, DSPS. If you feel that this applies to you, you are welcome to contact their office. You can let me know if you qualify for the services. You need to notify me, and we can work on extending the time for exams if that is what you would require. There's also information, there's a link there to EOPS and CalWORKS. So now we get to the things that you really want to know about, starting on page 12. So this is my information, Janine Sullinger. I have a master's in education, nursing education. I'm also public health nurse certified, and I'm an international board certified lactation consultant. The easiest way to reach me is by my cell phone, and there's the number 831-233-0142. If you have questions for the nursing department, their number is 831-770-6146. That is my email address, and we will be having office hours. We'll talk about that. That's in the first announcement. And I'm also encouraging you to sign up with Google Hangouts, that app, because that can really facilitate communication amongst all of us. So the course that you're taking, Growth and Development Across the Lifespan for the Healthcare Professional, it's a 3-credit course. Over the summer, it is a 6-week course, whereas during the fall and spring semesters, it's an 18, soon to be 16-week course. And then the objectives, things that you'll be able to do, you can read these on your own, but basically understand promoting health of individuals across the lifespan, learning about communication, looking at different genetic versus environmental factors, how to communicate in the family, how to deal with stress, how we as healthcare professionals can promote optimal physical and socio-emotional development, therapeutic communication, those types of things. Next comes the course content. This is not in order of the chapters in the book. This is in order of sort of development. So we're going to look at how the study of human development began, looking at genetics, and then moving through the newborn, infant, different psychomotor skills, language skills, looking then at toddlerhood, early childhood, middle childhood, on to adolescence. And then we will also cover young adulthood, middle adulthood. And as we keep scrolling, I'm probably going too fast for you. Sorry if I'm giving you a headache. Late adulthood. And then finally, we will finish up with death and dying. And then in the beginning of the course, we're also going to look at governmental influences on healthcare. So the required textbook is the Growth and Development Across the Lifespan Health Promotion Focus by Gloria Leifer and Eve Flack. The book is available. There are 2 copies on reserve in the library. You can order the book at the bookstore. You should be able to get the hard copy, which is actually a soft cover, or the ebook. If you would like. I have copied the chapters into the Canvas course. So if you're not able to purchase the book, then you do have the chapters available to you on Canvas. You will need a computer. Obviously, this is an online course, so you need to have a computer. You will turn in your assignments, take your quizzes, all that on the computer. Lecture is done sort of in this format since we're not face-to-face. You can always contact me for individual assistance. There's PowerPoints. Discussions and some activities are the main ways of learning in this course. And then the evaluation is done through the assignments and any quizzes that are taken. The college requires each department for each course to put together student learning outcomes for the course. So the student learning outcomes for growth and development are, one, that the student will apply the knowledge of growth and development that you've learned throughout the course by creating a capstone project that would be due at the end of the course with a grade of C or better. And the second one is that 100% of the enrolled students would complete a paper on a health promotion topic for chosen developmental age group using the rubric and earning a grade of C or better. And I am completely confident that you all will be able to do that. Here's some more examples of assignments. We might do Google Doc collaborations. There's key terms, review questions, things like that we'll look at as well. So here we come to the grading policy, which is probably one of the more important things that you would like to know about. So our nursing and allied health follows this grading policy. A is 90 to 100, B is 80 to 89%, and so on. Points in nursing and allied health are not rounded up for final grades. So if you had, for example, a 79.2, then that would be a C. We would not round that up to a B. So that's why it's really important to get all your assignments done so that it's not the last minute and you're saying, Mrs. Solinger, is there anything I can do? Because we do not, offer extra credit either. Student attendance, you're going to be online. I'm assuming you will conduct yourself accordingly during the discussions, and you can also refer to the policy and procedure manual in the handbook if there are any grievances. So point distribution and grading. So here's how this works. And again, there's your 90 to 100%. So there's a total of 1,000 points available for this class. 645 points are from required core assignments, which I'll show you in a minute. Excuse me. My apologies, I'm getting over some bronchitis. So as I was saying, there are required core assignments worth 645 points. The remaining points are chosen from elective assignments, which are below those, and I will explain that to you. So because there are 1,000 points available in the course, the following, I'll make that a little bigger for you, scale would apply. So in order to earn an A, you would have to earn 900 to 1,000 points, and that would be an A, and so on. So the required core assignments that must be completed, so there is potentially 645 points of the 1,000 points right there. Not enough, a 645 would put you, in the D range. So that's why we have the elective assignments to get you up to that A and B range that you would like. So the core assignments, there are discussions. These are on the discussion boards in Canvas. They're worth 25 points each. There's 7 weeks, or 7 chapters, it should say, sorry, for a total of 175 points. And we'll go over the discussion in another video. You have a lifespan development paper, 17% of your grade. It's 110 points. It's 100 points for the paper. And then there are little checkpoints in weeks 1, 2, 3 to add that extra 10 points. And then getting to know you, that's going to be due this week. That's 10 points. That's a discussion. There are critical thinking exercises. There's 5 chapters worth of those. And then there is a quiz each week. There are the points. And then there's not per se a final exam. There is a final group capstone project that is worth 100 points. So were you to earn all points possible, you would have 645. Most students don't earn every single point possible. So say, for example, after the core assignments were totaled, you ended up with 600 points. That means that you would need to have 400 points if you wanted 1,000 points total from this optional elective 688 points. So I'm hoping that you're understanding that. So if you like to do key terms, so for example, each chapter has key terms. You define the key term. Those are 10 points for each week. And then you could do writing test questions, which is 8 points for each chapter. You could write and answer the review questions. You could come up with a study guide. You could write growth and development templates. You can do any combination of each of those. So that is where your discretion, the way that you like to learn. If you want to just write out key terms and study those, that's 160 points right there. It's up to you to figure out what combination of points or what you need to reach the goal of total points that you would like. If you have questions, you can let me know. I will go back and change the weeks to chapters so that it makes sense. There's 1 quiz each week, and then there's the final capstone group project. The questions can be multiple choice, fill in the blank. Short answers, there are some matching, I believe. The quizzes are given online via Canvas. They open up each Friday. Each Friday evening, they're available and open for 24 hours. There's ample time allotted for each quiz, generally 1 to 2 hours, depending on how many questions. Students can access the quiz at any time during that 24-hour period. So if the period starts at 6 p.m. Friday and closes at 6 p.m. Saturday, you can start it at 7 p.m. on Friday. You could do it at 2 a.m. on Monday. You could do it at 3 p.m. on Saturday. You could do it at 3 p.m. on Saturday, anytime. However, once you start the quiz, you have to complete it within the allotted time. So if you're going to start it at 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, you need to keep going with it. You have one opportunity to take the quiz. If you have questions, if you run into problems while taking the quiz, you can text me or communicate with me somehow to let me know, and we will try and fix whatever the problem is. So if you miss a quiz, it's your responsibility to let me know that you missed the quiz. I'll see it in the grade book, but the onus is on the student to remember. You know that there's a quiz every Friday, so please try to stay on top of that. And then we have, starting on page 25, these are the objectives and assignments by week. So for example, the first week, June 17th through the 22nd, we're going to get to know each other. We're going to review the syllabus, which is what this video is for. And then we're going to focus on Chapter 1, which has to do with Healthy People 2020, and Chapter 2, which focuses on the governmental influences on healthcare. The objectives, here are the objectives for Chapter 1 and the objectives for Chapter 2. The assignments are those that are the mandatory core assignments. So, for example, the discussion for Chapter 1, that's mandatory. The critical thinking question for Chapter 2 is mandatory. The getting to know you discussion is mandatory. The syllabus activity is not. But in general, you need to start thinking about that developmental paper. It's going to be due at the end of week 4. So by the end of week 1, hopefully we'll have needed to choose what age group what developmental stage that you would like to write your paper about. And there needs to be a draft of the introduction as well. I will go over that in a separate video. And then you would also have your quiz on chapters 1 and 2. So the next week, in week 2, we're going to cover communication. There's an activity, no points, and then we will continue with chapter 3 and 4. So there is a discussion for chapter 3, and then because you're working on your paper, there's no discussion for chapter 4. You're going to continue to work on your paper, and there will be a quiz on chapters 3 and 4, which also will include some communication. In week 3, it starts to get a little, there starts to be a little more material that you cover each week. We will cover chapter 5 and chapter 6. There's the objectives. There are no discussions or critical thinking questions for those chapters. There is a discussion for chapter 7, because again, you're working on your paper. In week 3, your peer instructor review is due. So as much of the paper as you will have done, it will be reviewed by myself and 2 anonymous peers. That way you guys can give each other feedback and see what other students are doing. And there's also a quiz for chapters 5, 6, and 7. In week 4, we move through childhood, early, middle, and adolescence. There's a critical thinking question. And then there's a discussion for chapter 9, and then a critical thinking for chapter 10. And the developmental paper would be due at the end of week 4. And then you also have the quiz on chapters 8, 9, and 10. All right, week 5. Week 5 is probably the most difficult week because it has the most content in it. Your developmental paper is done. However, you will have turned that in. So that's good. Chapter 11, we're looking at early adulthood. There's a critical thinking question, middle adulthood with a discussion, late adulthood with a critical thinking question, and then advanced old age has another discussion question. You should be thinking at this point and working in your pairs for your capstone project. And I'll go into that in detail in another video as well. And then a quiz on chapters 11, 12, 13, and 14. And finally, week 6, Woohoo, you made it. We will be going over chapter 15 and 16. There is a discussion for chapter 16. You also have a quiz on chapter 15 and 16, and your capstone group project will be due. So here are the objectives for chapters 15 and 16, and that would be the review of the syllabus. I would also like to let you know that the assignments have due dates, but you can certainly work ahead. If you find that there's a week that you are ahead of things or have some extra time and you want to knock out some keywords for chapters 8, 9, and 10, feel free to do it. Do those types of things when you have time and submit them. All right, so that concludes our review of the syllabus. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.